Hi again, and welcome to the individual creation module. What we're going to show you today is what you need to do to get your quality score up in the aspect of core competencies under individual creation. So when you're using a case creation, you want to make sure that you properly search for an individual, use all the tools available to you, and we want to show you some tricks here to make sure you're doing all the searches right before you go and create a new piece of data. So generally speaking, when you make a case, you're going to come across individual creation or search by going through the menu here that we see. We have quite a few different options which will help you create a case, and you'll have to look for both location, which is another core competency we will look at in the future, and you'll also have to create the individual information. So for the purpose of this tutorial, what we'll do is actually use the search engine here, and we will go straight to search within the Go menu. So we're going to click on Go and then search, and when we get to this menu, what you're going to see here, there's a search engine, and in the top right corner you can change the field to be whichever search you want. So since we're dealing with people, we're going to go to individual here, and essentially you're going to ask your caller what their name is. So in this example, we're going to use Mr. Brown. And Mr. Brown's name is put in there, and we get a database of all the names that have the last name Brown. Now, you'll notice there's quite a few fields here, and one of the key factors that we want to see in your quality evaluations is that you've tried to find an individual using more than one of these fields, and preferably 2 or 3. In the list below here, we can see very clearly that there's a few different names, and I could easily use a Donald or Jacqueline or Joanne depending on what the caller says here. In the first name field, which is the second most common field when doing this search, I can simply put one other letter and it's going to narrow the field down for me. Now, when that happens, I'm not finding the name that I was going to use for the example, but I just wanted to show you that how we can easily narrow it down by simply using 2 of these top fields. Now I'm going to go back to the Brown search here. We're going to use the name Terrence, and because Terrence is actually a name that I feel you could spell wrong very simply. So the first tip is that sometimes less is more. So I'm going to actually just type Terrence the way we see it here, and you see it will narrow it down. Now, a mistake that could be easily made is that you might think Terrence is spelled with an A. Perhaps you think it's spelled with 2 R's, and when you do this search, what will happen is the database actually won't be able to recognize that. So this is an instance where less is going to be more, and if I just take part of the name here and do a search, you'll see that Terrence's name has come up from this spot as well. Now perhaps Mr. Brown is sort of old-fashioned and he doesn't want to provide you with his first name, so this is an instance where you might actually use one of the other fields, and what you might do in this instance is listen for his address or inquire about his phone number. So we're going to go back to the original search, and Mr. Brown might say, well, I live over on 2nd Avenue. That would be a hint to you. You want to make sure you scan through here, and you're actually going to be able to see there's 2 2nd Avenues. What you can do then is throw it in the field here. Now if you have a very long list in this database, this is going to help you out a lot. In the first name field, I simply needed to put in a few of the letters. When I'm typing in other fields, I need to use what is called the wildcard, and in this instance our wildcard is a percent symbol. This percent symbol represents any character that we are unaware of or do not know. So if he says 2nd Avenue but doesn't give us a civic address, 3791, I can replace 3791 when I don't know it by simply using this percent symbol. I can then put in a 2, and I actually don't need to type the rest of this address here. I can simply use a percent. So I'm going to do a search here, and you'll see it's narrowed it down just a bit more, and in this instance less isn't more. I'm going to need a little bit more information. What is done is taken any address that has the number 2 in it at all. So apartment 2 here, 12th Ave, 2816 Highbury, and 2nd Avenue. So what I can simply do is add ND for second, and now we've narrowed it down even shorter. We can see here there's what is presumably a woman's name, Vera, and Terrence. So what we would do then is ask Mr. Brown what his full address is, and we can confirm that possibly we have the right name. Now you can also see here whatever's highlighted appears in this window in the down below here. And in this instance, Vera has no phone number, but Mr. Brown, who we are speaking to in the example, does have a phone number. This is the final field here that I would suggest you use to do a search. If you know Mr. Brown's number, you can easily type in 6958 and do that search, and what it will do is find the phone number fields where the percent symbol represents the beginning, and these are the last 4 digits of the phone number. Often when you're on the phone, you'll be able to see a phone number that is actually located directly on your handset. You can confirm that phone number with this citizen before moving forward. Do not use it on a presumption. It's better to ask. So just to recap, when you're doing a search for individual, before creating a new one, what you would do is make sure you use both the name fields, the phone number field, and the street number and name field in order to be sure you found the right person. Don't zip through this. It's only 5 marks on your evaluation, but for the departments, this is a vital piece of information. Thanks for following along. In the next module, we will look at how to create a new individual once you've done your due diligence in searching. After you finish the online quiz here, please inform the classroom facilitator so they can direct you to the next portion of training.